Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Shirani. Today I'm going to show you how I make my Belizean chicken foot soup. Okay, so for this recipe, I'm using about 3 pounds of chicken feet. I always just buy 2 packages, so whatever that comes up to, that's what I use. So the first thing you're going to do is cut off all the nails. You don't want that. You have to make this thing as clean as possible. And I know you might be thinking, girl, but you done eat the foot already, what you to talk about, but you know, you have to clean up the thing. You have to inspect each foot to make sure it's clean. And right there, so in that piece that middle, sometimes they don't look clean. So you always want to make sure if it don't look clean, you cut it out. As Belizeans, we don't say chicken feet, like chicken feet soup. And I know that's the correct way to say it, but we say chicken foot. Although we're talking about a lot of foot, you know, we don't say feet, so that chicken foot soup. So another thing kind of said this thing wrong. I mean, it might be wrong to you, but it's correct for we. Like I always say in my Belizean videos, we always call things different. We never call it what it actually is. And I know that's not the proper way, but it's just the way we talk and we all know what we mean. Let me know in the comments, do you eat chicken feet? And if you do, how do you like yours? So it all depends on the chicken foot you buy. As you can see, these are big and the nails were harder to cut off. But if you buy some smaller foot, they're gonna be easier to cut off. I like when they look nice and clean and pretty like this though. Some places, the chicken foot, they don't look good. A lot of them are bruised, and if they are bruised or don't look good, I throw them away. Okay, so here's an example of one that I think don't look good. You can see how it looks red and bruised, and you know it has that thing in the middle. I don't like the way this one looks, so I'm just gonna throw it away. Now that I have all the nails cut off from all the foot, I'm going to wash them. Now I'm going to wash them with some vinegar, but you can use vinegar or lime, whichever one you have on hand. And you know we Belizeans, we wash everything. Let's get cooking. So to my pot set over medium heat, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil to that. And then I'm going to add my chicken foot. To that, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of Season-All. I know you guys like when I show what I use, so this is the one I'm using. 2 teaspoons of complete seasoning. 2 teaspoons of consommé. And 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to give that a stir. As always, I'm going to have the exact measurements in the description box below for you. Next, I'm going to add half cup of chopped onion to that. And 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to stir that and let that cook for about 15 minutes or so. I want my meat to get nice and brown. I don't like when it looks white in the pot. So for Belizeans, chicken foot soup is different than a chicken soup. And for all the Belizeans watching, correct me if I'm wrong. Or maybe this is just the way I grew up with it, or where I'm from, you know, down south in PG. I don't know. But when I think of chicken soup, that's with a whole chicken. So you use different ingredients. But if you're making a chicken foot soup, you use a whole nother set of ingredients. This soup right here is what people like to serve when you have goma. So if you have a hangover, Belizeans don't say hangover, we say you have goma. So here's a new word for you, you have goma. So when you have a hangover and you want some soup, you just want something like this. Or even when you're drinking, you just want some food for bite pan. Because like, we eat a lot of bony meat. I like bony meat, that's my thing. But yes, so you did drink, you want something to eat, you want to eat chicken foot soup. Or a lot of times people like serve chicken foot soup when you go to a wake. When somebody die, you go to a funeral, they have a wake. Okay, so they serve this at a wake. So let me know when you eat your chicken foot soup. And right now the weather's so cold, so I enjoy my chicken foot soup. Nobody dead, nobody got goma, nobody to drink. I just enjoy my soup. This is not something I eat every day, but it's been a while since I had this. And then when I made it again the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, I miss this flavor. I miss this. Don't you all feel that way about food sometimes, like things you haven't had for a long time? Now that they're all nice and brown, I'm going to add 13 cups of water to that. Give that a stir, and then you're going to cover it and let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, you're going to lower the heat to medium and let it cook for 45 minutes. You're cooking it that long because you want your chicken foot to get soft, so just go in there, get a fork, and just test it to make sure it's nice and soft. If it's tough to where you can't break the skin with the fork, then cook it some more. They are ready, so I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. Here I have 1.5 pounds of potatoes that I peeled and cut into bite-sized pieces. And a good tip is to just put your potatoes in some water to soak so it doesn't change color. When you're ready for it, just drain it out and put it in your pot. I'm also adding 1/2 pound of carrots that I cut into bite-sized pieces. And 1 packet of this Maggi soup mix. Give that a stir, then you're going to cover it and let it cook for 15 minutes. Okay, the 15 minutes is up, so I'm just going to check my potato to make sure it's nice and soft. Now this is done. You don't have to add anything else to it. You can leave it just like this. But I'm going to add some okra to it. And I know not everybody like okra, or how we say it, okra. Not everybody like okra, but I happen to love okra. So what I do is I just cut off the tiniest piece from both ends and then put it in the pot. Because these are so small and they're nice and soft, I'm just going to turn off the stove and let the residual heat cook it. If you're using some big hard okra, you'll want to cook it, so you would cook it at least 3 to 5 minutes, but nothing more than that. And if you don't like it at all, you can skip it completely. After I add the okra, I like to just let it sit in a pot and let the soup sit for at least 15 minutes or so before I serve it up, just so all the flavors could develop. One thing I forgot to show on camera was adding a little bit of salt at the end. And I like to do this with certain dishes, not everything. So I already put a lot of seasoning in there, so it's salty, so you don't want to put a whole lot more salt. But this is just a 1/4 teaspoon to bring out the flavor. And I like to do this when I make tamales at the end. I add a little bit of salt to just bring out the flavor. You know, sometimes you taste something and you feel like something is missing. You just can't put your finger in it. And that something is just a little bit of salt. It just helps bring out the flavor. The longer you have this sitting in the pot, the thicker it will get. So I like to wait at least a good 30 minutes and then it gets even thicker, and that's how I like it. It was so hot for me to taste. Oh my gosh, but it was so good. I so wish I could share this with you all, or if you even want any. I know not everybody wants this, but if you do, just know that I have you in mind. Now, if you don't eat chicken foot but you still want the soup, you can use any part of the chicken to make the soup and just use the same ingredients. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. I was burning my fingers. But if it wasn't so hot, I mean, I put that whole thing in my mouth. I love chicken foot. I like bite up all and leave bone. Bite off the thing off all and leave bone. And you know, if you don't eat chicken foot, that's okay. But don't hate on other people's culture. I just wanted to come back in here and show you that this was like after 30 minutes. It was starting to get thicker, as you can see. And that's how I like it. That's how I enjoy it. So I just wanted to show you that so you can see what it looks like. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And also thank you for following me on all of my socials. I see you. I see you on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. So thank you. I always say I have some of the sweetest and nicest people following me. You all always send me the sweetest messages. You send pics of all my recipes that you create. You leave sweet comments. So thank you so much. Take care. I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye.